What's good, y'all? Coming on here talking about why not being you. Why being you is so hard nowadays, and why being you is really we make it so complicated, especially with how we've grown up and how we've been taught and the circumstances we have went through, especially as childs, especially with our parents. I'm seeing this a lot now. Peter Crone, he deals a lot with people that go through this, and he's a great example of a teacher that helps people through these problems, and not even problems, but there's strengths and there's circumstances that we put ourselves in that we don't even realize at times. What I mean by this is when you grow up as a kid, you take things very seriously. You take things that sometimes we don't realize and suppress them in our subconscious mind. And when you can be you and fully express you, you bring that kid out again. You bring that childlike state out again, because you are being your most authentic self. You are being yourself. And there's things we got to reflect on, because 65% of our thoughts a day, this is scientific, is from the past. So we tend to live in the past a lot and not even realize it sometimes. That's why being aware, being present comes into play, because when you can be aware and present, it helps you figure out a lot about what is going on with you. Why are you reacting a certain way? Why are you taking the actions that you take? Why are you doing what you do every day? And what is the purpose? Because a lot of us are just trying to find purpose. A lot of us are doing stuff that we don't even realize why we're doing it. And especially, I've been in that boat. And once you can figure out your purpose, once you can reflect on the things that you may have held on to since a childhood, like you might reflect on, I'll give y'all an example of me. I had to really reflect on why I felt so lonely at times, especially because I kind of always been a only child, but I have had a sister. But yeah, I used to struggle with abandonment, and that was because my mom was never there. I did have grandparents in my life, but as a child, as a child, I didn't understand why my mom wasn't there. I didn't fully know. And what that led to was me not thinking I was accepted. What that led to was me fearing abandonment. So I was tended to attach real easily and be afraid to lose someone. So that led to me attachment issues. That led to me having to be around people to fully express, maybe even feel good, or I would avoid my own pain. Yeah, that's how I could say. I would avoid my own pain of abandonment by being with others, by not really looking inside myself and figuring out that ain't true. We're never lonely. Because as Peter Crone says, the universe always has us. We always have us. When you can fully be yourself, when you can fully look inside yourself and know thyself, you know that you got you. You know that you need to love you before you love anyone else. Loving yourself, having that confidence, having that full expression, full authenticity, yeah, having that full truth about yourself. I feel like that word gets used a lot, but having that full truth about yourself. When in doing that, you truly know your passions. You truly know what that child really wants, what that child has been through. Because really knowing, and of course it's a work in progress, it's just like working out. But the more you do it, the more you are aware of it, the better you deal with it, the more free you are, the more liberation you have. And really internally, that's all our souls come here for, is liberation, freedom, fully expressing themselves. Because to the soul, as Peter Crone has said, and other spiritualists. The soul, to the soul, the unknown is possibility. To the soul, the unknown is exciting. But to the identity, the unknown is fearful. To the ego, the unknown is not safe, because the ego is just here to protect us. The ego is just here to help us survive. So when in knowing this, your perspective can mislead you when you identify with the ego. Not saying that you should just completely get rid of the ego. As the ego, you need to work with it, not fight it, because what you resist will only persist. Working with the ego, understanding that it's there to help you survive and protect you, will only help you work with it even better, as it does come into play. But understanding yourself will ultimately help you work with that ego, knowing yourself. So when looking back on your childhood and the reflections of why you may be reacting to certain ways or taking actions that you do every day will help you figure out why you do what you do and why you love doing it, or why this may take your energy, because there's certain triggers that show up, there's certain circumstances that show up, our messages, especially our emotions. When you're able to be in tune with your emotions, you are able to figure out these triggers. You are able to figure out why your certain situations are popping up as they is, because a reflection of the outside is only a reflection of the inside, as within, so without, as I love to call it. And when y'all really aware of this, when y'all really take caution of this every day, not even if y'all want to experiment with it, but you will start to see the patterns. There's so many patterns in life. The law of rhythm, the law of patterns, as one of the universal laws. When you're able to identify these patterns, when you're able to discern them, you will ultimately be able to look back and be like, okay, this is why. And you know what I'm saying? When I was able to discern, when I was able to identify the abandonment, I was able to feel more free and be like, this is not true, because it ain't true. We tend to hold on, and the more we hold on to it, the more we get identified with it. So being able to catch this early, being able to identify this early is helpful, but at any time is really the best time. But when I was able to identify with abandonment, I was able to feel more free. I was able to tell myself that this ain't true. And that helped me ultimately know myself better. And within knowing myself, I could express myself more. I could be who I truly wanted to be. Because the circumstances set up for me not to ultimately be myself. I came here in a small town. I was born in California, Modesto. I was born there, but ultimately brung here where my grandma and grandpa was not even from here. My grandparents wasn't, in a small town in Kentucky. 1,000 people most. Ultimately, a lot of people go off reasons. We see that a lot of times in society. Is a lot of people go off reasons. It's not good to go off reasons, because what that can do is hold you back, especially from being your most authentic and your true self. Because there's so many reasons that, for me doing this content, there's so many reasons that, you know what I'm saying, that I could just be like, why am I doing this? How am I going to get this big? And so on and so forth. Because people don't tend to think this big here, as I see the patterns. Because when you start to see the patterns in yourself, you can discern patterns for other people as well. But what you see in others ultimately will be a reflection of you, because you will only look through your perspective. You will only look through your soul. You can only do that. So when in knowing that you only can look through your perspective, you start to see the potential in others that is in you. You start to judge others. You may start to judge others. Not saying you are judging. It's not good to judge, but you may start to judge others, and we all do it. We all judge. But it's good that it's good to accept parts like that in you. It's good not to suppress the shadows. So when you're judging others, you're ultimately seeing something that is in you. And when you're able to discern that, you're able to look within and be aware. Because first step is being aware, and then working with it, as everything takes time, and it will all happen in divine timing. But ultimately, being aware of it will help you be more free, help you be more respected by others, because others can see the real. When you're able to express yourself, you're able to be seen. People will love to see the real you. People love to see the real you. And the people that don't, that is a reflection of them. And the best we can, the best way we can be with others is knowing that some people are limited to conscious. They're only limited by their conscious. They're only limited by the aware of their consciousness. Because all this comes back or ties back to awareness. And we came here to ultimately forget, and to go through these triggers, and to go through these circumstances, to just remember who we truly are and who we desire to be. And when you desire to be something, you ultimately already are that, because you won't be trying to be something that you're not. And when you're saying you want to be something, that ultimately means you don't have it. So when you are doing your manifestations, when you are desiring to be that person that you see yourself being, ultimately you already are that person. That is why embodiment is key. And when you can embody your truest self, when you can embody everything that you love doing as a kid, because ultimately that is what you truly love doing. And even finding new passions on the way, because you can't just have, we tend to just think we can have one passion or one gift sometimes and put us in a little box. When you can be open-minded, and when ultimately being your truest self, you are open-minded. The possibilities are endless, basically.